Okay, so how do I start this video? One of the things I've struggled with over my years of doing this, after being a lifelong comic book fan, is discovering that a portion of the community that I love so much, the comic book community and the greater comic book community, meaning like the fans of just the books and the fans of the media, that there's a portion of that community that is just okay with overt, actually subtle and overt racism. They're okay with sexism. They're okay with bigotry. They're just okay with these things. And for most of my life, most of my adult life, I never encountered people that felt this way. And I've known fans of comic books, like I said, my entire life. As I got older, people just were not, they didn't talk and act like this towards other people. They never did. And because of the internet, and I'm going to talk more about this after we look at these two examples here, because of the internet, we have been introduced to the worst corners of our community, and those corners are vocal. They're very, very loud. Okay. And another thing I have to accept is there's just going to be people who are okay with subtle and overt racism, sexism, bigotry, homophobia, they're just okay with it. And they're unapologetically doing this. And this is crazy to me because this is a community that I'm a part of, and I have to share space with these guys. So we're going to take a look at two things that I think just continue to remind me that this is just something that I guess we have to deal with. I guess we have to put up with it and continuously push back against it. So Nerdrotic, because Superman just came out, Nerdrotic decided we're going to share a cover from a Superman comic. And all he says is good morning. I'm not going to give you any more context than he did because I want you to sort of get into my headspace here. He says good morning and then shows this cover here, right? Now, I don't want to presume anything with this, right? I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a Nerdrotic fan, so maybe I don't get it. Because to me, it looks like he's just posting something inflammatory to get people to do racist things. Because otherwise, why did he post this image? Why? Go down in the comment section. Let's take a look at some of these replies. All right. Oh, look. Racism. More subtle racism. Racism. Oh, more racism. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, I guess my first assumption was correct that he posted this to get people to make racist jokes underneath of it. I mean, I'm not reading anything into it. I'm not reading, like, he posted this with no context whatsoever, and the end result is an overwhelming amount, and we could scroll and scroll and scroll. It's pretty much all the same thing, just a bunch of people in the comments making racist jokes. And I've had this argument before about, like, humor. People go, well, it's just a joke. Okay, it's still a racist joke. Racist in this context is being used as an adjective to tell you what kind of joke it is. And that is the denial that these guys have. They just deny it. They're like, oh, it's just a joke. It's a racist joke. And he gets away with it because he doesn't have to do it. He just leads them to the water. He leads them to the water and then they drink. So he says, good morning. He posts just an out of context picture of Superman and all of a sudden racist humor underneath the post. But look, maybe this one is a little too subtle with you. Maybe this one is one of those ones where you're like, I don't know. Maybe he didn't mean that. Okay. So let's take a look at something that Jeremy said about Superman. And it's not really spoilery because it doesn't give away any specific thing. But if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want any sort of spoilers, you can skip this next part and then jump ahead to me talking about my thoughts on all of this. But I want to point out this next one because this next one is a bit more telling because it does break their narrative just a little bit. Maybe it cracks it in half. All right, you still here? Okay, let's go. So the other day, Piers Morgan decided to have on a bunch of these creeps on his show. And they have an issue with it. They have an issue with Superman because men are emotional in the movie. All right. So here we go. He goes, oh, yeah, Mr. Terrific, save Lois and Superman, amazing, hashtag Black Lives Matter. Now, you might say, well, why is this racist, Eric? Well, first of all, what does Black Lives Matter have to do with Mr. Terrific being a hero in a movie full of heroes? What is the connection there? What is the connection that he, among other heroes, because there's other heroes that save people, why is he being targeted and singled out? I'm not going to spoil too much. There's other heroes that save other people that assist Superman. Why is Mr. Terrific being targeted in this movie? He's the only black superhero in the movie. And he's the one that Jeremy decides to call out in this tweet. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Now, these guys would have you believe that they don't have an issue with characters from the comic who are black being in live action movies and doing the things they did in comics. But the minute one of them steps up and does something utterly incredible in a movie and does something amazing in a movie, then they have an issue with it. You might say, well, he just has an issue with it because it's a Superman movie. Then why the Black Lives Matter hashtag? Why is that there? If you subtract the Black Lives Matter hashtag, you could probably say, hey, maybe he just doesn't want Mr. Terrific doing anything too crazy in a Superman movie, and he just that's his stance. Okay, you could probably get away with making that argument, but the hashtag BLM says another thing, because Jeremy has said in the past that BLM is a racist movement. So if BLM is considered a racist movement by Jeremy, by Geeks and Gamers, and they're hashtagging that with Mr. Terrific in the Superman movie, even though Mr. Terrific does nothing of the sort in this movie, he's just a black superhero in the Superman movie, a well-beloved one from the comics, he decided to hashtag Black Lives Matter. There we have it. There we have it. So when I tell people that this group is full of not only racist people, but racist fans that are okay with this, that accept this kind of stuff, this is what I'm talking about. The reality is they're going to get more and more overtly racist as time goes on, because people are going to love these things. They're going to respond well to them, and they're going to slowly get pushed further and further into that corner where they have no choice but to continue barking and getting loud. That is why we are where we are now with these guys. And it really sucks in general, because again, as a lifelong comic book fan, I knew people growing up from all walks of life and nobody had any issues. I know people currently who are still my friends from back then that still have no issues. These guys would have you believe that culture has changed for everybody, but it hasn't. They are part of a bubble community. They exist within a bubble, and that bubble has become increasingly volatile. There's not a lot of quote-unquote woke stuff going on, especially in the Superman movie. Like, all the things they complain about, all the stuff they're upset about, they are grasping at straws and they are cherry-picking to trying to get them to fit into their narrative of this film. But not all of them. People like Yellow Flash has been saying otherwise. There's other people in their community that have been saying otherwise. So this movie is a big divided film for this community. And the fact it's divided means there is no objective wokeness to it. They would have you believe that wokeness is an objective thing that exists in these movies and TV shows. It doesn't apply to this because their community is divided on it. They don't even know which way to go with this because some of their fans actually like this movie. 95% fan score, 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. And it looks like it's going to have a lot of good sales this weekend. So what are they going to do? Can't be get woke, go broke with this one if it ends up doing well this weekend. Can't be that the critics tell the truth to them. It's the fans didn't tell the truth. So everyone's lying and all the money that was spent on this movie is all fake, right? That's what the narrative is going to be. Keep in mind, this is during the era where DEIA is supposedly dead, when wokeness is dead. This is the era we're in with these guys. They have to hate. They have to hate, and now it is just falling onto racism. Just there's no actual gay character in this, but they've claimed that some background character that has no lines is a gay character. So they're hating on that now. They're creating things in their head. It's become nothing but conspiracy theory, brain rot at its core. Like now they're not even pulling strings in reality. They're just arguing about stuff that they're making up in their mind. They're fighting a fight in their head that doesn't exist anywhere else. So I guess we just have to accept that there are some people that are going to defend racism. They're going to participate in racism in this community, and we're just going to have to keep calling them out on it. I guess that's where we are.